Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a black dude. Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
black
Last time I checked,
and
yeah.
you're came out with saying that you're an empath. I've never ever met any black male. I don't even know any black females that are empaths that actually say that they're empaths to sit and talk to like this.
Oh
Like, this
well,
is amazing.
yeah. Well, that's the whole purpose of why I created this in the first place. You know, I didn't know that. What I found is actually the large majority of empaths are generally speaking, they're female. You know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to say, I'm thinking that empaths were, you know, maybe some male, some female, kind of maybe I don't know, like a more of an even mix, but no, it's generally female actually. I would probably say maybe almost like 90%, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I didn't even realize it. I didn't think that the way you're looking at me, you're like, oh, you're a man and you're an empath. I'm looking at you like, oh, you're a female and you're an empath. You know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't know. I didn't, you know, the thing is, you know, generally speaking, you know, I'm assuming this is probably for other people like psychics and things like that. But, you know, we don't grow up around a lot of people that are like us. I'm trying to say to the degree that we feel. So, you know, it's like, it's, you know, I was like, I know there's other people out there like me, you know, cause I've always been isolated. I'm like, damn, with the internet, I can definitely, you know, see if there's other, you know, try to build a community around that, you know, and just to do that, you know, I gotta always be on my empath game. Cause, you know, if you create a site for empaths, you know, eventually you're going to get some narcissistic people up there. You're going to get some people that don't belong. And it's important for me. And I make sure that I protect my, you know, the community that I create. It's like my baby. I make sure that nothing gets near my baby that's harmful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's very nice. I think a lot of men are empaths, but they don't know how to even go about it or understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because they have to put up that exterior, like a tough exterior.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably a lot of them walking around, but they're never going to admit that.
Yeah. You know, I recently came out with a video entitled "To be a black man in this society is to be a god."
I saw it.
Yeah. And I really think that.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, I want to hear your thoughts on that in a second, but like, I think like, again, like you said, yeah, I think a lot of black men probably are empathetic, you know, but like you're saying with your father, you know, living in you know, I'm not sure if you would know this or not, but you probably can. It's probably the same in Canada, but black men are really targeted in this country, you know, in America, you know.
Oh yeah,
big time.
I focus a lot on America, even though I live here.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the things I watch, like I know Brother Panic and all those things, like I know all that, but I focus on it, and I can see what's going on in the States. Over here, it's similar. It's not as crazy because there's not as much black people over here, but there's a lot of black people over here still. Like there's still the police brutality and all that, but Canada likes to act like they're different or they're better. Mm-hmm. And there's no racism, but there is a ton of racism here. Like I go to the store and I get treated like people are like they don't want me to be in the store. Like I get those things over here. Mm-hmm. That's how it is. So I understand being a black man in the States right now. Even just here, like it's crazy. Canada's just kind of like the States now.
Let me ask you: is there the whole like prison industrial complex? Because I know in America the population in the prison of black people is wildly disproportionate. You know, is it the same way in Latinos as well? Is it the same way in Canada, or how is the racism in Canada compared to the United States? You know, how would you?
It's kind of quiet. It's one of those things that are quiet, like because they don't want to seem like it's racist, but there's racism. There's a ton of black men in prison here, but we don't have Mexicans much and stuff like that. It's mostly black and white and Asian mm-hmm. and Indian, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but there's a lot of black. Like I have a friend right now where her brother was in and out of prison since he was like 10 years old, and now he's schizophrenic because of it.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
he's totally messed up right now because of that. And he was brilliant. He was a brilliant little boy, but he went in the wrong direction, and they had him in and out of prison until they broke his spirit. So it goes on over here.
Gotcha.
Now it's not big like you guys have a lot more black people walking around, whereas here it's sprinkles of black people basically. But we have like an Afro-Fest in the summertime, and they won't advertise it. Like Black Panther, they didn't advertise it. Like they try to keep anything that has to do with blackness and happiness, they ignore it. And that bothers me.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I get you. I mean, do you know metaphysically why that is, though?
I understand. I understand how it is, but I would like to hear what you think.
I mean, there's so many ways to attack that. You know, I did do that video. So, but I mean, to hit it from a different angle, like essentially, they know that our rise is their fall, right?
Yep, I can see it.
I mean, you could just end it just on that. You know what I'm saying? You could just end it just on that. But I mean, but to be more deep. I mean, really, what they really fear more than the rise, it's not just the social economical rise of black people or minorities. What they really actually fear is they really fear the spark, the spark of God that exists within inside of us. You know what I'm trying to say? Yes. That's what
I know it.
That's what they actually fear, because, you know, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, how could we ever overcome them? You know, it's like they could, you know, I like to think of the example of, it's called Black Wall Street, you know, and we had a bustling cities, you know, and we were doing very well. And this kind of example has played itself out over the history of America, where blacks were doing well, and white people just literally came in and fucking bombed it and destroyed it, you know? And bombed.
So, I know, I heard the story, and that upset me. I said, what?
Yes.
What?
But yes, but you know, and even within that pain, there's, you know, if you're introspective enough, there's wisdom to be had that ultimately we're not going to be able to beat them in the physical. So what they're afraid of is, you know, is the black spirit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like learning to do what I'm talking about, learning alchemy and learning how to transmute the pain that we've been through, and really you know, raising that kundalini, or raising the soul and becoming God and man. You know, in America, there was a famous thing that I think it was, I forget what president it was, but he created something called COINTELPRO. It was a way to shut down the Black Panthers and other black nationalist movements that were growing, I think, during the 60s.
Yep.
And what he said, something like, it's to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah, you know, fear of a black planet.
it's fear of what it really is fear of a black Messiah, meaning they know that they know who we are, biblically speaking and historically speaking. They know who we are. They know the power that we possess, and that's that's actually what they're afraid of. Like, they could have said anything. They could have said, you know, rise of the black leaders or rise of the black economics. No, that's the way that they think. Now we may disregard that as if it's, you know, this is a fantasy of some delusional guy on the internet, you know, talking about alchemy or something like that. But that's what they fear, and they rule the world. So you know, do your own math. So you know, I'm not speaking to you because I'm sure you understand that. But just, you know, the average listener that might think that, you know, that you know, talking, you know, me speaking about alchemy is, you know, this is the most important thing for black people that want to be free, you know, because there are brothers and sisters that are in the Black Panthers that I know, you know, and I tried telling them that, you know, I put up the palm of my hand and I said, brother, you feel that? I said, that's your freedom. You know, I'm trying to say that's what you got. That's what you got to cultivate within you, that, you know, all, you know, like, cause your little pop gun ain't gonna do nothing to a damn tank. Or a jet fighter, or you know what I'm trying to say. So that's ultimately where we're going, and what I'm focused on. You know what I'm trying to say is making this something that, your daughter or someone's son can listen to. You know what I'm trying to say? Ultimately, I'm looking to become it myself and not wait for anybody. But, this is the culture that we need to create. With the advent of the internet, we have the ability to, now not have to rely on mainstream media to get our message out. So, why not create a platform that talks about, black freedom in the way that it's really needs to be presented,
Mm-hmm. I know, like over here in Canada, they kind of have black people on in check over here. Like when I was working in the film industry, and I was on set with a lot of like black American actors and like Kerry Washington and all that, and we would go out.
Ooh, you're on set with Kerry Washington? Woo! Woo! Word! Oh, man, she is... Woo! Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I know, I used to do... I played, like... I didn't have any role in that. Like, I was just her friend.
Oh, man. How is she? Like, how is she? Is she sweet?
She's so... I love her.
She seems sweet.
She's hyper, eh? She's hyper. She's fun.
Good.
She's friendly. She was very, like, she listens to you, and like she was just very nice to be.
That's
like,
good.
I was there for like a month with her and Omar Epps and all of them. So it's like it was nice being around Black Americans, because you guys have something that us over here we don't have. You guys will be in a restaurant and enjoy yourself to the fullest, laughing, talking. You basically take over the restaurant. Whereas Black Canadians are discreet and like they're scared to, like, white people kind of have us in check over here. Where
I understand they don't want to be disruptive. We don't want to be the disruptive.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, white people. Will you accept us and our children now, please? No, I get that. Yeah, I get that. They would
kick us out if we were like that. Like they don't like to see Black people feeling empowered and stuff like that. So everybody is just kind of quiet. And a lot of people don't even go to certain restaurants much, because it's like, oh, it's white people, Whereas you guys, being around Black Americans, I was like in heaven. I said, wow, you guys are just so free, so open, so fun, so inviting. So I don't know. There's just something that you guys went through a lot in that country, but you guys still have it though. You have that power that a lot of people were silenced, like, because a lot of Caribbean people are still kind of scared of white people.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, and first I want to say that number one, I think I understand what you're saying in that, but again, you're also meeting a more affluent people too. But I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree with you, because I'd be the same way if you met me, as you can tell. But I think
I've seen people come for Caravana. I've seen Black Americans come for Caravana and do the same thing at restaurants.
Okay, just the average. Gotcha. Because you're talking about Kerry Washington and Omar Epps, but no, I agree with you, but I like to play devil's advocate for the listeners, but no, I hear you. Like, what I think what it is actually the whole like the 60s, especially, I'm trying to say, and we've had time periods where we've had to fight, for just basic, I wouldn't even call it freedoms, just like decency. I'm trying to say, like, like to be able to use the same bathroom as a white dude. I'm trying to say, in this country.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that was a thing in the Caribbean. I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm assuming in Jamaica it's pretty much all Black, right?
Yeah, everybody's Black. Like when the first time I went to Jamaica, I was 8, and I didn't really like. It was good and stuff, but when I went back as an adult, I felt like I was in heaven. I was like, everybody's Black here. Yes. Like, I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to deal with racism like over here. So it's different for them. Like,
no, I get it. For them, it's like they're being transported into our 60s probably, or maybe 70s or something. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah.
I see what you're saying, meaning that, like, here we've created several generations of different cultures that was not created there because it didn't have to be. So, and ultimately, I'll just say for me, like being an empath, like, I can walk through the store, and I wanted to speak about this also, like, I'm speaking from my experience, but I'm assuming you'll probably understand what I'm saying. Like being in restaurants and being in stores and being in public places, a lot of times I found is a place where, there's obviously a mingling of different people, and like you can kind of, as an empath, you can kind of pick up on, like
everything.
White guilt sometimes, or or white fears, or maybe even the fears within inside you from generational trauma. I remember sometimes being in the supermarket several times and just feeling like I shouldn't walk too close to a white woman. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah, especially being a man.
Yeah, being a male and being an empath. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's not that it's she doesn't want me next to her, or that some guy would be like, hey, it's not that. It's the fact that the trauma within inside of my DNA is something that I'm aware of, and that I'm playing it out and dealing with it through that situation to create.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I get it. I was going to say, sorry to cut you off, but
No, it's okay.
I forgot to mention something too earlier, that when I was a kid and I would go in the elevators in my building to go out, like to go play outside, and there would be white men in the elevator, I would feel like a perversion, some kind of a perverted thing coming off of them in the elevator, and I felt uncomfortable. And I still get, to this day, I still get it. I still get those feelings, and I'm like, why was I picking up that as a kid?
No, I hear you.
You're talking about this?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, absolutely. And that's what it is. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. We are here. This is the purpose why you are alive and breathing this instant. You are here to heal the generational trauma within your DNA. Right? You are the best of what your tribe or your family has to offer. And it's your job to heal that. You know what I'm trying to say? To heal that so we can ascend. That's a huge cosmic responsibility. You know what I'm trying to say? And so when you understand that, it can help add perspective to your life, and the things that you've gone through and the strange feelings that you felt, they all begin to make sense when you put it in perspective.
Yeah. I don't like public, like too much. I try to push myself. The only reason I went into the acting is because I was too shy and I wanted to get out of the shyness.
Yep.
But I realized that acting doesn't take you out of shyness. It gives you an escape. Because you can escape into a character for a while, but when you're done, what happens after that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I thought about acting, but I'm not really. I don't like. For me, I'm too picky. I would want all the black hero roles. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to be Denzel. I'm not trying to be. You know what I'm trying to say? Sometimes I think about.
After a while, you do feel that way. You're like, what am I doing here? After a while, like, you want to be somebody big in there, but then when you find out that there's a whole secret society going on that. I don't want nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna sleep with some dude to get there, but or whatever. Who knows what? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not sure if that's the case with all of it, but in Hollywood, there's some nasty stuff that goes on there. You know what I'm trying to say? Or have some kind of ritual played on me or some crap. No, I'm not about that. Hell no. And I gotta say, I love Kerry Washington, but I gotta say, man, boy, that role she had with being the president's mistress, whatever. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't watch that show.
I didn't watch it either.
I didn't like seeing her in that role.
Me too. I was like, ultimately it's like, I'm not going to watch it just because it's disgusting. And I know what they're trying to do, but I know that it's not going to affect her, and her family and her life, but still, like, sometimes I wish that, I'm not sure if black people even understand sometimes the way that they are being used in these roles. You know what I'm trying to say? For white consumption. You know what I'm trying to say? But
I wonder sometimes too, like, why I know the money and like sometimes you sign a big contract and you have no choice but to do certain things, and that's basically it. But me, I can't do that. Like I can't even watch that show because I'm looking at. First of all, I'm not interested in white men. So if they're trying to get me to lust after white men through the show,
it's fucking disgusting.
You know,
I don't care what he is. Exactly. That's just a president. That's just a freaking the CEO of a plantation. You know what I'm trying to say? As far as I'm concerned,
that's what I see too. I see the same thing as you.
Yeah. So yeah, I was.
But there's a lot of black women that like watching that stuff.
That's to me that makes me actually want to throw up my mouth. But you know, to each their own. To each their own. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy world. I did the acting because of trying to get out of my shyness, but I didn't even know that it was deeper than just being shy at that time. Because I did like being, like when the director would say, rolling, I like that feeling. I understand why people are they get caught up in that industry because it's fake. So you get to escape reality in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole time you're on set, you feel like a whole different person. So you play into the whole illusion of it. So it's a nice escape. But then when he yells cut and it's time to go home, it's a different story.
Yeah, you know, I remember Denzel Washington once saying, he's like, talking about his career, he's like, sometimes you have to do things that you have to do in order to do things that you want to do, you know? And that and I understand where he's coming from, but I gotta say personally, in my own life philosophy, I'm not about spiritual compromise. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Sorry. If it was, you know, if they're paying me $1 million to have some role where I'm getting raped by some white guy, no, not happening. I don't listen. No.
You have to have that. Like I don't know how people do it. I don't know. I'm the same way.
I'm just saying, me personally, I don't care. But you know, again, we all have different roles that we came here to do. You know what I'm trying to say, in the greater, like That's in the, true. You know, so I mean, you know, so it's like, I get it, but still for me, heck no. I couldn't, I know too much. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the thing. I wonder if I know Denzel is pretty woke, as they say, you know. I know he's somewhat conscious, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if everybody in Hollywood is like that, but you know, people like Denzel or, you know, what's that comedian, Dave Chappelle, you know, they talk, you know, like I know they talk about sometimes the way Hollywood has tried to, you know, make black men into these archetypes for white consumption. You know what I'm trying to say? To kind of keep a fear-based, you know, stereotypical view of us for the rest of the world. Yeah. And they're aware of that. But honestly, I don't really know many other actors, so I don't know if they're all, you know, in that same mind frame, you know, because if that's the case, you know, because if they are, then maybe actors need to get together, like empaths get together and talk. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know. And you know, a lot of actors have these kind of things too. Like they're empathic, they're shy, they're like, I was on set with Forrest Whitaker, and I thought I was shy, and I watched him the whole time, like prepare. I was on a movie called Deacons of Defense, and he was a principal of a school that was about to get taken over by the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
So they had, like, that was another blow your mind set, because there's a bunch of guys dressed up like KKKs, and then there was us, like from back in the day, dressed up, and it felt real. Like, it felt like we were back in that time, and that blew me away, because I was like, you could see the tension between us, and we're all just actors.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a tension on set because there's a bunch of white guys dressed up like the KKK, and then there's us.
Yeah, it's in our DNA. It's in our DNA, yeah.
And we're playing a role here, but it felt so real. But Forrest Whitaker is a very, very deep individual. I watched him on set, and he's very shy too. Like he's even scared to even say hello. Like, he's one of those people. Mm-hmm. And it blew me away, because I said, wow, this guy, he's so good when he gets into his characters. But personally, the guy's a shy guy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of actors, they have these hang-ups, and like some of them know who they are and know what they're willing to do. Others, I don't know. Others will do anything.
No, I hear you. I don't doubt it. You know, after seeing some of the roles we get, I do not doubt it. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. But yeah, so that's it. Like it's been a journey, but like having this empath thing, like it's, it's crazy, but I'm learning.
Sis, let me I'll just email it to you. Like, you still have a Facebook account, right?
No, I actually don't. I have to create one though.
Okay, yeah. If
I'll create one just for this because now I have a focus.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I mean, you know, it's our group is. I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's a beautiful thing, you know, and I just go off of what I've been told by others, you know. I don't want to be too arrogant, but I think you might find it a good place just to connect with others, you know. Let me ask you, like your current husband, is he? He's not an empath, is he?
I have a feeling he is,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe a different kind of empath from me. But he is because he went through his traumas growing up, and I can see it affects him a lot as an adult. So I think he kind of is, but not on the level like where I like how I am, where I'll feel so deeply for certain things and stuff like that. I don't think I think he learned how to shut off those things.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think like you said, I think a lot of men do.
Yeah, he learned how to like shut off like the connection, whereas I get swept away into like I tried to do a job as a PSW and I couldn't do it anymore because I got so into the clients, like their lives, and I'll talk to them where I go right back to when they were a kid with them. And then I start feeling sad because they're older now and their lives are sad, and I'll take that home with me, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do the job because I was just I had too much empathy for people.
No, I get you. I mean, if you know, we can have more discussions, you know, and I think, you know, from what I've learned from my own meditations, you know, like here's what I really want to be able to do in the future. I really want to be able to break down like how to I'm gonna put it. What it is you need to be able to bring your aura, like your auric field is out. You know what I'm trying to say? You need to learn how to be able to bring it back in to back closer to your center, your core, your heart. You know what I'm trying to say? Do you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. I'm not sure why. Sorry, I must have dropped you somehow. You still hear me?
Yeah. The last thing I heard you say was bring your aura.
Yeah, I was saying you need to, and this I was saying this is something I want to be able to teach people in the future. You know, maybe we can have another talk, and maybe I can go into it. And I'm just realizing how to do this now. But as an empath, you need to be able to, like, your aura, your love goes out. You know what I'm trying to say? It goes out and it picks up on, you know, it's like, you know, it picks up on all the different auras, you know, in the room out of concern and care. I'm trying to say you need to learn how to bring that closer to your center, back into your own heart. And for me, what I've learned, in order to be able to do that, again, you have to be able to realize that we're all one, right? And through your healing and your I'll just put it this way, like your the success of your being at peace, right? Mm-hmm. You create it's like a foundation. You are a beacon or a foundation, or you become a rock. Again, that you're no longer swaying. People are so, remember I talked about the pendulum? People are everywhere, every day, swaying in that ocean of good days, bad days, happy days, sad days, right? And you're picking up on that. Oh, okay. Oh, you're not okay. You're good. Oh, you're sad. Oh, you're good. Oh, you're sad. Oh, you're good. Oh, you're sad. Oh, you're good. You know, it's like, you know,
that's literally what it is.
you're preaching to the choir here, sister. I know. So what it is you need to be able to be that rock, right? You need to have that pendulum still. And then what you learn to do is from that stillness, you then can love out of principle, because principles never change. But emotions, again, they're constantly swinging on a pendulum for most people. So first, you need to learn how to have your pendulum still, right? And find that place of stillness, which means that you need to be able to bring your aura back in. And then when you find that, when people come to you, because you will be a beacon, and people will come to you when you're a beacon, right? The number one, the things that you can say, you don't have to even say when your aura says it for you. You know what I'm trying to say? It's to the point where I've actually gone into a supermarket and a cashier, like, she literally, like, just in my presence, she like zoned out, and she just like, it was like, for the first time in a very long time, she was at a place of just like stillness. And then she just like snapped out of it. She's like, well, oh, I don't even know where I was just at. You know what I'm trying to say? And I, and me being me, I'm like, I said, sis, you need to try to get to that place more often. Meaning you need to meditate more. You know what I'm trying to say? But like, you need to be that.
You're good. You're already there. Like, I am probably just struggling through this thing, because I have a lot of people that want to come towards me a lot, and I kind of hide from people because I find it's too overwhelming. But a lot of people seem to be drawn in my direction. Mm-hmm. And I found that happened when I was working on set. It doesn't matter where I'm working, but people always want to, because people say that I'm peaceful. They're mm-hmm. like, how do you get so peaceful? And I'm like, you don't even know what's going on in my head. I have to work hard to look like this.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like to me like you've reached where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm my own worst critic, because I'm a if you know anything about astrology, I'm a Virgo moon and a Virgo rising, so I'm very critical. So I actually, and I'm Aquarius, so I'm a somewhat of a know-it-all, but I am at a place of what I'm calling in this thing that I'm looking to teach. I'm at a place of faith or knowing. There's three overall phases that we'll go through in life. Like, I think of like the like a caterpillar. It's first like, it's just like in an egg, and it, and then it's a larva, or a caterpillar, and then it becomes a butterfly, like the first stage that we have, is when we're we're young. It's just the belief stage, when we think we know. Like I don't know if Jesus is real, but I think God is real, but I don't know, but Jesus sounds like it could be real, I don't know, like that's your belief stage. Then there's the stage of faith, when you know. You know what I'm trying to say? And that has to be cultivated. It's not like you just have faith, it has to be cultivated through a series of pain and introspection and finding that stillness inwardly, and that can take years. And then once you've begin to, find God, which is really just your own soul, and your connection with the eternal, then you begin to become what you know, which is then you can become God in man, so, but you can only do that to the degree that you have transmuted pain. So it's like during the introspection period, like you're in a cocoon phase, but you're only going to have what you've cultivated as a caterpillar. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah. What you're cultivating really is just pain of this world. You're soaking up as pain, like Bruce Lee says, you must have emotional content, or you need emotional content. If you remember some of the Bruce Lee movies, you need emotional content, and you take that emotional content, right? and you begin to in the introspection phase or the cocoon phase, and you take that and you begin to then become what it is, and then you then become, like I said, that beacon or that embodiment of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You then become God you become God on earth, or really you really become God or lucid in the dream, like Neo awakens in the Matrix. I'm trying to say this world's an illusion. So, even truth, to be honest, even your power in the world that you harness is still an illusion. I'm trying to say, because it's still, it's like, so Neo's in the Matrix. He's doing things in the Matrix, but the Matrix is still an illusion, but then you become, it's like you awaken in the dream, as they say, so that's the level I'm at. I'm at the level of, I'm in the level of, becoming what I know. I haven't fully reached fruition yet where I can fly, but I'm in the state of, I'm past faith. I am in the state of fruition now, like where I am becoming what I know.
Did you ever feel body pain from also, like, oh, so sorry.
It's okay.
When you're out and about in certain environments, and then you come home and your whole body feels like, like your joints just ache. Did you ever get that?
Yeah, but yeah, I've had that, but not necessarily from coming home. I think, well, what it is, we all pick up our stress in different arenas, in different places. You know what I'm trying to say? For me, my stress, I've dealt with several narcissistic relationships in my life, right? So that from the majority of my stress comes from that, and also living in a white supremacist society and I actually thought I was going to I tried to free black people through using law, and that brought me to jail, and I got my, I had my run-ins, get my ass whipped with the cops and things like that. So, all of that was traumatic.
I heard about that stuff.
Yeah. So that was traumatic. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, so my, again, so your stress is maybe, we all have our different stressors, or our different traumas, but mine was so deep that it stayed with me until I transmuted it. I'm trying to say, because the thing is that, I'm going through this as a somewhat young man, and as a young man, I'm highly intelligent, and I'm very hard on myself to be able to, like, to be successful. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm thinking I'm having to, well, how can I be successful if I'm a neo-slave in this society? You know what I'm trying to say? So that was my first thing. I'm not the type as an empath to just be all about myself. Well, I'm smart. Well, and I grew up in the country. I'm trying to say, pretty much away from poverty for the most part, even though I'm from a single parent household. I didn't have it that bad. And I remember going to the inner city for a little bit and seeing how these kids, are treated in the schools. The teachers didn't give a shit about them. It was to the point where I was actually about to be kicked out of the school because some dude was picking on me, and I was there, and I just seeing the cops in the school and hearing these kids call each other nigga, and even the teachers nigga, and I'm like, damn, there wasn't even a one white dude in the school. I'm trying to say, it was all black and Puerto Rican, or I'm trying to say, or all black and Hispanic. It was just it was like, whoa, it was a culture shock, and I was like, damn, well, all right, I know my life is, I know my life is different than most black people because I had that experience. And I said, well, I'm going to use whatever intelligence that I have, to be able to help our people, through whatever means I could. And so,
And you sound like a Canadian, which is weird to me. You sound like you were from over here.
It's probably American. Oh, I don't. Okay, I'm not sure why. It could be there's certain things that I say that, like, that could be seen. It could sound Canadian, but it's probably I say or something like that.
I realize that not all black Americans speak the same.
Yeah,
I understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm also half Puerto Rican, and I don't speak Spanish, so that's another thing with the whole Afro-Latino thing. But
okay.
Yeah, that's probably why I speak fast, though. I speak fast because I'm half Puerto Rican. But anyway, Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to that, like, so meaning that like I was to the degree where I was willing to give my life if necessary to see black people free. I'm trying to say. So that like when I found out that I didn't have the power within me to do that, like that was like life shattering kind of like experience. You know what I'm trying to say? When I realized that like I'm a type of person, and I think that's how you know that you're on a path to godhood, is when you have a sense within inside you that limitations are just not acceptable to you. You know what I'm trying to say? I just would not accept it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And again, I said, like I probably said in some of my previous videos, I went to a humbling process where I had to learn that, okay, you need to go about things in a different way. And so all the stress that I placed upon myself to do things in the physical to see black people free, I channeled that into meditation and really doing inner work. At first I don't think it was. At first it was just to deal with my own anxiety, because I thought I was going to be going to jail for 7 years. And I'm 30 years old. I'm at my prime here. I had everything. I mean, I had like, for me, I didn't fear death, but like what I feared the most was my potential being taken away. You know what I'm trying to say? And that for me, that was unbearable. And so I had to meditate really just to deal with the anxiety of that. But once I, I had listened to some brothers like Bobby Hemmett in the past, and I heard him talking about all this metaphysical stuff and the soul being the only thing. Yeah, him talking about the soul being the only thing real and things. And I heard it, and I came from the Moorish Science Temple of America, and they talked about spiritual stuff as well, and and they're heavily influenced by the Rosicrucian teachings. So like I knew about God or Allah or in the story of Christ, and I knew about some metaphysical things, but I was still early on. I was still like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought religious people were just like cowards, and I thought spiritual people that meditated were just cowards and pacifists. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they didn't have the heart to do what needed to be done. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And so it took me a while to realize that ultimately the only thing real, is the soul, meaning that's the only thing that doesn't pass away. So I had to really like for me, when I hear truth, that's truth. I do not like, I'm always humble enough to like, I gotta put it, generally speaking, I'm always humble enough to like, submit to that truth. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And so that truth, that stuck with me, and through that painful experience, like that truth became blaringly clear. You know, I'm trying to say that I'm going about it in the wrong way. So, that, so all, again,
that's like Killmonger.
Say it again.
That's like Killmonger. Did you see Black Panther?
No, I haven't seen. Don't ruin it for me, sis. What the heck? Who the hell's Killmonger? Who's Kill? What is this? Who is that now?
Sorry.
Oh my gosh!
You're gonna see. Wait.
All right. All right. We'll talk later. But I'm saying I took all that pain. It's not pain. I took all that work that I was willing to do. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm looking to be the next Malcolm X, the next Noah Drew Ali. I'm looking to, I'm really looking to do what's necessary. I don't care what it took. I took all of that, and when I realized that I felt, a little bit of like, a little bit of like tingling in my palms, and I was like, oh man, something's happening, but I don't know what it is. I was like, I'm whatever this is, I'm gonna harness this little seed. I'm gonna harness this little mustard seed. I'm trying to say, until it grows.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing ever since, just like, and making that my goal, as opposed to, going to college and being some white man's, secretary or something like that, or whatever the hell, whatever,
yeah.
Or, work for, most of the corporations are run by white people. So like, I knew that, it would take, again, Black Wall Street, they just bomb us if they wanted to, or do something, or COINTELPRO it, so I knew that whatever freedom I was going to find, it was not going to come from, making money, which they print and they control and they can shut off anytime they want, so
anytime. Yeah. That's how I feel too. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I don't remember how I got started with this, but yeah, like that's like that, like my work ethic is completely on going inward,
And you're disciplined too. Like that's the one thing that I need more of. Like you have a discipline for you to even do the meditation to reach to where you are, and you have a lot of discipline.
Yeah, well, my discipline is a reflection of my compassion. Once I realized that this is the way that we're going to be free, I said, well, if this is the way we're going to be free, then again, if I'm willing to give my life before, then I should be willing to give my life by going inward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's a smart choice. It's a very smart choice.
It was. It seems smart now, but trust me, it wasn't that smart. I still went to. Thank God. Thank God I was able to. I had some situation happen where I didn't have to go to jail. But even if I did go to jail, I still would have meditated. So I would have won regardless. But I would still be in jail now had that happened, or maybe I just would have got out recently. Because it would have been. It was like about 7 years ago. So, it's like God. I was. God allowed for me to, which is again just my soul, allowed for me to. It set it up so I would, be able to be on the path that I needed to be able to do what I had to do now. So I get that in retrospect. Your soul. Sometimes we as spiritual beings or souls living in a shell have a hard time comprehending that we go through things not for the shell but for the soul and the spirit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's a very, very, very hard thing to understand, but hindsight is 20/20, and now that I'm I've grown in spirituality, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you making over there, sis?
It's good. You actually opened my eyes to a lot of things, this conversation we have, because I need to get into this meditation thing more serious and stop focusing on what I need to do here and stuff like that. I need to go inward more because I spend a lot of time alone. So that's the time when I should stop worrying about things and do something about it.
Yeah,
I spend a lot of time worrying.
Yeah, well, what that is, and it's number one. Are you cooking right now? Because I don't want to disturb you, but
no, I'm washing dishes. If you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind. I just like, but like, let's try, because this is what I do. I'm so dedicated to this that like if I'm talking with somebody, like I'll just stop and we'll meditate. I'm trying to say, so I'm gonna do it with you, okay? So because what I find with meditation, why people don't get started really is actually because of the ego. It's because of the ego. Because what it is, right, is once you breathe and take a couple deep breaths and you realize that you've achieved a deeper level of peace and calmness from doing that.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on, that I do feel good. That I do feel better. But then the ego is like, no, you need a cigarette, or you need a girlfriend, or you need sex, or you need to, something else. You need something in the matrix. You know what I'm trying to say? The ego, what Christians call the devil, or, what the Gnostics call the demiurge. I really think that is actually the ego. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Like it manifests itself as what we're calling the ego. It is that doubting Thomas. It is that agent that we have inside of us that tells us that we need something in this world to find peace, to find stillness, to find happiness. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you want to, put a dish down for a second, but let's just try it. So here's what I do. So generally speaking, what I'll do is like, so I'll take a deep breath through my nose, and I'll hold it for like, I'll hold it until. I'll hold maybe like, maybe 5 seconds. And as I'm holding it, I'll feel the tension in my body. You know what I'm trying to say? And you can kind of feel that. If you do it, you kind of feel the tension.
Okay, like I can't do it now, but
You can't?
I'm gonna record it to do
That's
it
fine.
later.
That's fine. No problem.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. That's why I asked you if I say I don't want to interrupt you, but basically, so yeah, that's what I do. I'll feel the tension in my body as I hold the breath. You know what I'm trying to say? Because what that does is it builds the tension within inside you. I think what it is like, you know, spirit can be negative or positive. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, so you know you have that egotistical spirit or that demiurge spirit within inside you as well, and it still wants, how can I put it, the body still wants to retain, you know what I'm trying to say, even though the body's fear based, it still wants to retain you, the being you. You know what I'm trying to say, because that's where this world draws its energy from. You know what I'm trying to say? Your soul. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like in the Matrix, you know, it said, you know, it's turning human beings into a battery. So that's where we are for this world, a battery. So by holding the breath, right, what you're actually doing is denying it what it needs. And by doing that and doing it, the longer you do it, the more you can get it to submit to your will, which is really God's will. Does that make sense?
It makes sense because I've listened to somebody online talk about that whole breath and holding your breath for so long and the benefits of it and euphoria and all that stuff.
I don't know about euphoria, but I mean, I mean, maybe you'll get there eventually, but I mean, like ultimately what it is like for me is like, again, your nervous system, like your body's first law, or the first law of nature, is self-preservation, you know? So your body wants to survive, you know, and you have to break the will of the body, which is to survive, to procreate, and to trap new souls down here. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's really what it is. You know what I'm trying to say? And I know that sounds, you know, kind of maybe strange to hear, but if you think about it, if we're not from this world, I mean, we have a purpose here, right? Again, we have a purpose here as empaths to transmute pain, but the average individual, you know, they are just, you know, they're just, you know, I like to use the matrix analogy as as our minds are all built upon association. You know, the majority of us here in this world are just asleep. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah.
So, like they're just batteries to keep this world running. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So, put that.
And it's working.
And we're working, basically just distracted from going inward, which kind of gets me back to my point, you know, like, I'm kind of losing where I'm going here, because I think I'm just getting like a little wore out, but I'm not sure where was I at? What was I even speaking about? Oh, the breath, holding the breath.
Yeah, the breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're saying will. about people being a battery.
Yeah.
A battery for this.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and you know, I had spoken with a sister earlier. What the matrix actually feeds off is not your love and your peace, and you know, it's actually your anxiety and your fear, right?
Oh yeah.
If this is a dream, then why are you afraid to die in it? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
If this is a dream, and this dream has the potential to be a nightmare, right? Why are you sad when somebody passes away?
But that's a good question.
Right?
Good question.
Exactly. That's why pain is such an important integral part of the process of introspection, because like once you know God through knowing yourself, it's like you begin to really, like, people think that enlightenment is like some like, oh, but really what it's really like is like when Neo wakes up from that pod in the Matrix, you know what I'm trying to say, and it's like it's covered in filth, and like he looks up and he sees all these people their energy being sucked and babies being fed intravenously to other people, like that really is, like, energetically speaking, what this world really is. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And reaching enlightenment means knowing that, is knowing that this world feeds upon souls. You know what I'm trying to say? And it feeds upon what they produce when they are constantly indoctrinated with anxiety-based and fear-based, tasks or burdens. You know what I'm trying to say? Placed upon them, right? So that's why it's important to keep people distracted constantly. It's important. Yeah, it's very important. They're doing a good job at it. Well, not good enough, unfortunately. not good enough for me. They ain't doing shit to me. And here's the thing: again, for all one, it doesn't really matter if the masses get it or not. It's not about that, And that's again. That's
I'm learning.
I'm hoping.
Brother Panic talks about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was another brother I listened to, and ultimately, it's like. I heard people like Bobby and Brother Panic talking about these things. It's like I hear them talking about it, and like at first it was like it's just like, okay, that's a cool thing. Like that's cool. I don't get it. That's cool. But once I went through my own process of having to meditate. Like again, I was forced to meditate. Because I was going through so much anxiety, and I was forced to really understand what freedom was, because if you ask the typical most Black people what freedom is, what they're going to tell you, right? Freedom from this white man, or we need Hillary in office, or we need to get rid of Trump, or it's gonna be something political, you know what I'm trying to say, or it's gonna be something physical, we want, so like it took me a while it's not enough to listen to it's not enough to listen to wise men. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not enough to just listen to them. It's not enough.
No, you have to do the work. You have to do the work.
You have to come to that realization yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? And I had to come through it. Like I listened to Brother Panic. I listened to Bobby Hemmett. You know what I'm trying to say? And he was saying similar things, if not the same thing. And it didn't really. It was interesting, but. I was into the Moorish thing, and I'm trying to get free, man. I gotta get this affidavit of truth signed, and I gotta proclaim a nationality. You know what I'm trying to say? So, but it was important for me, I feel now in retrospect, to go through those stages so I can be able to help others that are also seeking freedom, and I would say not necessarily to listen to me. I'm trying to say, because I didn't listen to other people either. I'm trying to say, but if you're willing to, and you have enough wisdom to understand it, then that could be a blessing for you, because you would avoid pain that might be unnecessary. I'm trying to say, I'm not under the delusion that every brother or sister is going to be some god or something, I'm trying to say, or something like that, are going to be able to have some kind of supernatural power. I don't think that's me being realistic, but I think that, again, if you cannot reach the state of fruition, you should at least be able to reach the state of faith, so you can find peace in this world. I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Pretty much it.
It makes sense.
Yeah.